Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. How is everyone doing this morning? It's a beautiful Monday morning, wherever you're at, and wherever you're watching us from. Actually, Farrah, didn't you just come from Florida?
I did. I was in Tampa, in Orlando,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
and I went to California the week before. So
Oh, you're lucky. You had
nice.
all types of sunshine.
Are you originally from Chicago?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago.
Okay.
Nice. Well, welcome everyone. I'm your show host, Jennifer Sanchez. You're watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show, where we talk about all types of trending topics. It's about inspiration, conversation, and motivation to get your week going on the right start. That is me, Angel. Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Angelica Ramirez. Most people know me by Angel. I am a commercial property manager by day. I've been doing that for about 20 years now. I recently started my own small business from home during quarantine, selling pastries, pies, mostly banana cream pies, Boston cream pies, French silk pies. I am also a mother of two, a college student and a freshman in high school. And I'm also a graduate of the WISE coaching program, cohort 3. I am a mentor of the WISE organization with Jen. I have the privilege of doing that. And I'm just really excited to be here and say good morning to everyone.
Yay, good morning. Can you introduce yourself, Farah, to our viewers?
Sure. My name is Farrah Ali, and my career actually is in insurance. It's actually my 20-year anniversary this month. Insurance underwriting manager. So I started in 2001, and then I'm a mother of two as well. I have two boys. One he's 20 years old, and one's 18. So getting ready for college for the 18-year-old. And I've also gotten into real estate investing. I started investing in 2014 after a divorce or separation. I had to figure out how to, take care of the two kids that I had. So I got into investing, and I have a rental portfolio of about 28 properties. Currently doing some flips and done some wholesales as well. And I've also helped co-found We Win LLC, which encourages, inspires, and other women to get into real estate investing. Our goal for every woman is to have at least 5 rental properties paid off, which is about $5,000 of income coming in while you're sleeping, right? So, and just in case that something happens with your full-time job or life happens, right, and you're just prepared for that. So that's the goal of We Win. I'm also the president of We Win Foundation. My partner and I, Gina Diaz, we founded that last year. Pretty much when COVID hit, we were like, what can we do to help? And so we kind of go around to different communities, and we've been distributing food. We've had turkey drives. We've done want to do rental assistance for the people that are in need. And then I currently also wrote a book called Diaries of a Female Real Estate Investor. So that was my most recent, took advantage of COVID. So I kind of wrote down my journey into real estate investing. So good morning, everybody.
Wow. Good morning. You're up our alley. You do like so many things. But what I love is we win. We're partners with you guys. You guys support Wise in so
Yeah.
many different ways. So we appreciate you. So I definitely love that we got you on the show, so that we can highlight you and all the great things that you and your organization are doing right now at the moment. So I want to make sure I say good morning to the ladies that are watching. I see La Mera Mera. Her name's Esmeralda. She goes by La Mera Mera. Good morning. We also have Maricel Melendez, the owner of Ponce Restaurant. Good morning. And she said, love it. So we are excited to have Farrah here so she could teach us some stuff this morning on real estate and being an investor. So that's pretty exciting, guys. So of course, before we go into any conversation, we have to go. If you guys are watching, you know that it's coffee time. That's the whole purpose of this. Coffee and tea is, well, I have to throw in tea and be diverse and respect everyone that loves tea. I love tea too, but so I always say, let's invite also the tea drinkers. We're not discriminating here. So let us know what you're drinking this morning. And I'll start first.
Oh, I think Jen is frozen. So until we get Jen back, I this morning am drinking Yogi. Where is it? The Yogi Everyday Immune Tea. It's just right now with COVID and everyone getting sick because the weather's like cold and then it's warm and then it's cold. Why not give ourselves another boost of vitamins and good stuff? So
Nice.
that's what I'm drinking this morning.
Nice. Did I freeze? Is that what happened? Yep. Okay. Just
Yes, you did.
I was talking and I'm like, what's going on here? Okay. So you're drinking tea. I'm just drinking black coffee from the Donut Shop Company. What are you drinking, Farrah?
Well, I think you're going to have to get a new category because I'm not drinking coffee or tea. I'm drinking my hot, warm lemon water that I have every morning.
That's another one that I fit. Yep. I've had women say that on the show, right, Angel? And yep, there we go.
Well, it's like a lemon tea. Like, let's just say it's lemon tea.
Well, yeah, it is like
lemon tea.
It is. So everyone that's watching, make sure you share what you're drinking this morning because it's all conversational. It's like, I don't want to say gossip. I don't like the word gossip, but it's like, that kind of thing when we're all just drinking coffee together, having a good time. So I want to make sure I say good morning. Good morning, Mary. We also have Ruby. Whoop, good morning. And of course, Maricel said she is drinking Bustelo. And we also have La Mera Mera. She said, you ladies look great this morning. I'm drinking café con canela, cinnamon. Yum.
That's my favorite.
I know, me too. And then, of course, Mary said a vanilla latte. Nice. You know what? I need to educate myself because I go to Starbucks and I always wonder what's the difference between a latte, right? Because they have all these options, or frappuccinos. I think fraps are supposed to be cold, right?
Yeah, it's the frozen blended ones.
So
the latte is when it's like mostly milk. It's like more milk than coffee, and it has like shots of espresso or shots of something, but it's hot milk mostly. I believe.
Okay. I just go to, I don't know, you guys know I have a 13-year-old, so we go and I brace myself every time I go to Starbucks. I'm like, all right, are you ready for this crazy combination I'm about to give you? And they always crack up. So we have, Mary said, café de casa. Yum. We love café. Made at home is the best. It's called Healthy Chisme, so healthy gossip. And then we have Ruby coffee with hazelnut and collagen peptides. I love that. I know that I noticed that a lot of people take collagen now. Collagen's become like a big thing, right? Like, I don't know if you follow, like, I feel like now a lot of women are promoting collagen. I've had some collagen. I haven't found the right product yet, but I need to start incorporating that in my routine. So
I wonder if it's because we're all getting older. We're hearing it more.
That's a good point.
Heard it before either.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right. What college student, a 20-year-old or 25-year-old, even like early 30s, gonna be like, yeah, let me take collagen. Yeah, good point. Good point. I love that point. So let's go into our topic, and we'll go into a fun one first, because I know some of these could be pretty serious, guys. Did you guys hear that Sharon Osborne left the talk?
Did she?
Yeah.
I did not.
No.
Wasn't she one of? Wasn't she one of like the founding, like the last, like the whole time of this show? She's been there the whole time.
She wasn't one of the originals, though.
Wasn't she?
No,
Okay.
I used to watch it like
I don't think
way
so.
back. Yeah, when I first got out of high school, I got this job with my uncle, and I was 18 years old, and I was literally watching the talk every day. But that was a long time ago, and she wasn't on there.
Okay. Well, she left because of all of that Meghan Markle stuff that happened. She had some strong
Oh.
words with her co-hosts because she was supporting some British. We all know him. I can't even think of his name right now. I'm pretty sure someone can write it in the chat. But I guess she was defending like a British media guy because he was talking negative about Meghan with everything that she came out that we talked about last week or a couple weeks ago. And she left.
Wow.
Mary, here we go. Mary said, they said she has been there since 2010. We have La Mera Mera. She said, I think she was there at the beginning and then left and then came back. So maybe. We have good Malek, good morning. We have Ruby. She said she pulled that's who it is. Piers Morgan. Do you guys know who he is?
Piers Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen him on the media. I've seen his face. I just never knew his name.
He's on that one show, or is it America's Got Talent? I think that's him. That's on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
America,
that is him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. Exactly. And then I just want to share. La Mera Mera said, I'm trying to figure out Grande and Venti.
I have a trick for Venti. Venti means 20 ounces, so it's like Spanish. 20, 20.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's how I remember it. It's 20 ounces.
20 ounces. You know that there's another size out on top of Venti?
The Trenti.
Trenti.
Like
yeah, I guess it's 30 ounces.
Yeah, that's a 30 ounce.
There we go. Piers Morgan is her friend. So that's what I guess. I mean, she was supporting him. Okay. Makes sense. I just thought, let's just share this because I thought she's been on the show forever. She left because of what we talked last week. So it sucks. I don't know what you guys thought about it. I just saw one clip where she was supporting him because he has the right to say whatever he wants. Right. And because of it, she left. So it is what it is.
I mean, I like her. I think she brought good stuff to the show. Like, I think she's very humble and down to earth, and she kind of brings a real feel to, her opinion. I like. But I mean, that's the awesome part of being able to, get yourself into a position where if you want to leave a position, you're just like, see ya, I'm done with you. So I'm proud that she was able to just, make that decision and not have to think twice and just go by her gut, and she's good. She'll be good forever. But
yeah, she got that Osborne money. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She definitely will be fine. And I think it's well deserved with everything she dealt with her husband. So I think she'll be good. We have Ruby said it was a classic example of white fragility. Girls, say the word fragility.
Fragility? I don't know.
Fragility.
Forgive me. It's too early. I need to drink some more coffee. I'm like, earlier when we started the show, I was like, how do you spell this? Did I spell this right? So let's go into our next topic. If you guys have any opinions on Sharon Osborne, go for it. Put it there.
Oh, she has a racist reputation. Like Mary said, she had a racist reputation.
I think she probably I could see that. But let's talk about gun control. So the reason why I wanted to bring it up is here's I'm just gonna be really honest. I kept noticing all the flags were when you see the flag, the American flag, and it's brought down, it's because our country's in mourning, right? And I was like, wait, why
Yeah.
are we mourning again? Well, then I realized the shooting in Atlanta that happened in that spa, where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard 8 women, right? 8 women were murdered. And then we had the Boulder situation in Colorado where 10 people were murdered, right?
Mm.
Um, so
Right.
it's within a week span. It wasn't that long. It was like back to back, right? So I thought let's talk about gun control because this is a has always been like a topic that for some reason no one ever resolves,
Mm.
right? Like how is it that we're constantly having these situations? Um, 3 different spas were hit. Thank you, Mary, for sharing.
Yeah,
So
in Atlanta.
and I don't know, you guys can share your feedback. It's terrible situation. It's terrible that we have to lose people in this manner. It's terrible. The loss of life in general is terrible. Doesn't matter what they were doing. Doesn't matter if I heard some backlash because they were Asian women and they were doing illegal activities or massage illegal massages or whatever. Who gives a hoot? At the end of the day they died. So um, I just wanted to get your feedback, ladies, on what your thoughts are on gun control.
Angel, do you want to go first? Then I'll go after you.
Sure. For me, I'm a little bit torn between gun control. I think gun control is just to try to make stiffer rules around gun control. I think that maybe having certain firearms not available to the general public is good. I mean, I'm not for taking guns away from everyone. I feel that the bad guys are always going to have guns regardless. Like they're not getting them the legal way anyway. So I feel that they just need to make stricter laws for older, the age requirements. I mean, I think if more good people had guns, it would also be safer for us. So
Mm.
that's my stance on it. I mean, it's really a tragedy, to just see that so many people are just dying because, the guns go in the wrong hands. I don't know.
That's a good point. What about you, Farah?
I'm pretty much on the same page as Angel. Like, I'm not for taking them away from everybody or, completely banning them or having them. It's just, I think maybe stricter and tighter guidelines, doing more of a, thorough check. I don't know if they do any sort of like mental check at all.
I,
So
I,
that,
I think some states do. I think some states do. And I know they were trying to do that in Illinois, but I don't know if that passed. Maybe someone in the community can respond.
Well, I know that I also heard because we at work, I work with a ton of guys, and they're all like men's, and they said that you could even at a gun show, you don't have to have like all the the background checks and everything. As long as you go to a gun show, you can buy a gun right there and there, like right there and then, and that's scary, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that's in a gun shows they have all kinds of guns, and just anyone can basically pick it up.
Really? So you don't even need a FOID card?
I mean, well, a Floyd card, that's it.
Okay,
But
okay.
there's no like additional background checks.
Yeah, I just got my FOID card not too long ago, and I was just like, why did it take a whole year? Right? Like, I think everyone was applying for it when COVID hit. Everyone was applying for that. But what I noticed is they didn't even use my picture that I submitted. They used my ID picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope they did some type of. You didn't use the picture I submitted to you. So what picture? You went into my driver's license and got that picture instead.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope you did some sort of background check on me.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean,
I know what the age.
I don't even know.
One to own a gun.
Say that again, Farah.
The age requirement. Do you have to be 21 to own a gun? I don't even know what age you have to be. Am I frozen?
No. You're good. You're good. It just sounds there's a little background noise, but you're good. No, you know what? I don't think. I think it's 18. I don't think you have to be 21.
Yeah, I think it's 18.
And
I think
I don't know if a 18-year-old is mature enough to own a gun.
I don't think so either. I mean, if you can't drink till you're 21, why would you put that at 18? But then again, I agree with you ladies. Definitely no semi, they shouldn't have AKs, and you shouldn't have that type of access. And I mean, I guess go
I
ahead.
guess they figure also, if you are able to join the military at 18 and carry a gun, then you should also be able to purchase one on your own. So if they're getting them young for military use, I guess they figure they should be able to buy a gun on their own too. I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of right now.
Yeah, that
Well, I
makes
think
that
that's more
makes perfect
controlled,
sense.
but it's a more controlled environment, and there's training,
Mhm.
right? Like it's not like they just hand you a gun right away.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
For
a
sure.
structured discipline. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes total sense.
yeah.
So let me share these comments before I continue. And this one was from the previous conversation. Mary said she was let go because she had a racist reputation. I thought she left on her own, is what I read, but I might be wrong. Three different spas were hit. Esmeralda said, I was just in Boulder. What a tragedy. Then Mary said, same ladies, no one needs semi automatic. I agree. And I guess she wrote, they figure you can go into the military and use a gun. So that's the reason why. Yeah, it's a tragedy. And I know that for cities, I guess I had an ex coworker, and she moved to a very rural area in Missouri, and having guns was normal there, right? We're city girls, right? I think you guys are city girls, so like, well, we live here, right? So I grew up in the city. It's not like if you're running around with a gun, you're a gangbanger. That's the only thing, or a cop. Like, that's the only people that I knew had guns, right? um so then I'm sitting here thinking, like, in other places, you do need guns, you do need rifles because of wildlife. Like, if you're living in the middle of nowhere in Timbuktu, right, and some type of wolf is trying to eat your livestock, or some type of animal is trying to take your livelihood. I'm trying to think, like, if you have sheep, if you have animals, yeah, I could see why you need a gun and a rifle. I could see that.
Hmm.
Your Bigfoot
Right.
comes to your door. I don't know, like something. Um, so I was told by my ex coworker, like, that was very common. Like, they go to church and everyone had guns on their back, like they're big rifles. They just walk around in the town and carry their guns around with them, I guess, because of nature and animals, and they just got to be prepared for, I guess, an attack. That's the only reason why I think it's acceptable.
Like maybe those were all the people that went to the Capitol that day to visit.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Sorry. Sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
That is very
Every day,
possible.
that's just the everyday people. They carry guns and they went to the Capitol that day. Who knows? So whatever. Sorry.
Possibly, they were like, this is how we walk around every day in our lives.
Yeah.
So we have Mary Yee. She said, maybe they should require, if you are 18 and applying for a gun, military service is required. I could see that. Bigfoot. You never know. No, she didn't. Were you guys ever into No, she didn't.
Sorry.
It's funny. Yeah, that's the only logic that makes sense. And then, like, I'm even thinking of, like, let's take it back to, like, for me, Mexico, my dad, rifles, hunting, like, that's a common thing, right? Like, and again, it comes back to animals, and God knows what's out there, like, depending where you live, like, there's cougars and pumas and all that scary stuff, right? Like,
I mean, I used to work with a woman who would bring her gun to work every day. And it was mostly because she had, like, paranoia. Like, she was paranoid that someone was going to attack her, or someone was going to, rob her or something. So she always carried her gun. She said, I always need to be prepared.
that scares me.
And
Like,
I don't want to live like that either.
That scares me. If I worked with someone that was always paranoid, like I could just pop in on you and try to just go boo, and you're gonna shoot me.
It's scary. Yeah.
It is. Well, ladies, share share in the comment section if you're pro gun, against gun. What are your thoughts on this? And of course, we want to just bring awareness to what happened in Atlanta and in Colorado, which was very unfortunate. So let's go on to our next topic. I think we have some juicy conversations. Last time it was spicy, right? Now it's juicy. So I
Healthy
think healthy cheese made, so healthy gossip. So let's talk about divorce stigmas, right? I think it's something that we've talked about this before on the show. We've talked about women who divorce and how they get shunned by their society, they get shunned by their churches, they get shunned by their families and cultures, right? Almost like, I guess maybe like a scarlet letter, you walk around with a A on your chest, but is it a A? I forgot what letter it was when we read that book in high school. But you walk around and you have this like thing, like, and I think it's something to bring. Let's talk about this conversation because let's just be honest. Sometimes relationships just don't work, right? It's not that we want it to happen, but our society, I feel like they're harsh on women, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like society's too harsh on women because you're divorced, right? You're a divorced mom or this or that. And then our own families can be harsh on us as well. So I want to just start the conversation off that way, and I know Farrah's testimony is relevant to how she started all of this. So whoever wants to take a stab at it first.
I guess I'll start. um, so I actually got divorced in 2011, separated in 9. And so it's been a while, but actually my immediate family was supportive because they kind of knew, what I was going through. Um, However, like, everybody else is kind of like, well, no, see if you can work it out. I think what it is, yeah, there's a stigma there. I think also they're worried about women kind of just being on their own and not being protected. So I can sort of understand from a culture perspective where it comes from. And also it's harder to get remarried when you're divorced, at least in our culture, in the culture that where I come from. I come from an Indian background. Especially then when you have kids, it's it's kind of referred to as baggage, I guess, in a way. And that's the first thing that somebody asks is, well, do you have kids? Are you divorced? So, um, but I think that that's probably more of it is, uh, the thing is that what I noticed is as soon as you do get divorced, everyone's like, okay, when are you going to get remarried? As if like that's like you can't be an individual. You have an identity only when you're married to somebody, right? Like when you have a man. So I kind of wanted to develop and grow myself. Like it's something that I've never worked on. I didn't even know that something like this existed where you work on yourself. So while I was separated, I kind of started a lot of books, into spirituality, self-development, and I realized that maybe the divorce happened because we all blame everybody else, but maybe my own insecurities was an issue and I needed to work on that. So I worked on that for the next, you still work on that. I don't think anyone ever becomes, completely secure with themselves, right? It's a process. So I think, with the divorce whole thing, I think if people understood more of why it happens, rather than focusing on, blaming other people or society or any of that, there'd be more understanding. I think we need more understanding people out there when it comes to that, more supportive.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be more supported. And I think divorces now, I mean, let's think about like older generations, right? Divorce was not as common, right? Like
Right.
back then it was like you just had to deal with what you had to deal with and keep it moving, like, which I saw right here a comment saying, I feel that those women are brave, for knowing that they should be respected or loved better, or whatever the reason it is. Like, that requires bravery, in right. And
Right.
I think even to even acknowledge the fact that women that do get divorced, and you, that's why I love your testimony. When I first listened to your testimony, Farrah, through like the real estate videos, I said, wow, that's amazing what you went through. And I know you're going to talk more about it, and was able to rise up above that, because majority of women that do get divorced actually fall into poverty, right? Because of one income. We could think about all the societal
Yeah.
reasons, like we get paid less, blah blah blah, right? So then there's all these things that come against a woman by herself with kids, and she's divorced. So not only like now you're shunned by society. I've heard of women saying that they've told me that their church gives their that gives them their back when they go through a divorce. And it's terrible, because that's when someone needs you the most.
Vera, I love that you said that a lot of, when a woman goes through a divorce, that right away people are saying, well, when are you going to get remarried? And that you need to focus on yourself, that you took time to focus on yourself, because I have been divorced, and I am in the process of getting a second divorce. I'm hoping it doesn't, but sometimes things happen. And after my first divorce, I basically jumped into a relationship again right away. And I didn't really have time to heal my wounds, to better myself, to fix the things that I needed to do so that I could be better for my next relationship. So I basically became I fell into almost the same relationship all over again, because I was still the same person. It was just a different person that I was with, but everything, it still was not a healthy relationship, because I was not healthy individually. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm just glad that you mentioned, that you need to, it's not good to just, jump into something right away, because you need to work on yourself first.
Wow.
And nobody really teaches you that you need to grow your, you get a school education, you learn about math, science, and everything else, but when do we really learn about ourselves?
Yeah, no, definitely. There is no life skills taught in high school. Like, hey, everybody, let's journal and put our feelings. Like, no one does. They don't do that. They're like, learn your math. I mean, I love this comment. Like, when am I ever going to use this math in my adulthood, right? Like, I'm not sitting here doing calculus. Oh, I hate
Do not.
What were you going to say, Farrah?
I don't miss math whatsoever.
I know, I don't either. I changed my majors because of math. I was like, forget this. I don't want to do no college math. I thought I was good at math.
My daughter just changed her major too, because she didn't want to take any math classes.
No, I was like,
I love
no.
math.
Oh, you love math. I thought I loved math, but then when I got to college, I was like, I don't love this math. Let me change. So let me share some comments here. We have La Mera Esmeralda say, I remember someone saying to me after my divorce and referred to it la dejada, which means you're left. Did I say that correctly? Like you're basically left, right? La dejada. That's terrible. A lot of women are saying here, like, that's terrible to be called like you're the one that's left. That's horrible. I'm so sorry you experienced that. Ruby said, I feel those women are brave for knowing they should be respected and loved better. So sorry that is not necessary. We have, to me, I'd rather be happy than miserable.
Mejor
Uh,
sola que mal acompañada, they say.
yeah, I've heard of that saying too. And the question of who divorced who, quién dejó a quién, who left who. I mean, does that even matter? But
Yeah,
society seems to think it matters. Wow, that is terrible.
very true.
You need time to heal and better for ourselves. I definitely agree. We need to be in a healthy relationship with ourselves first. I've been divorced 7 years and I'm a different person than when I'm married. I look back and go, how did I marry him? We have new math is not fun. Yeah, terrible math. The school math now, I hate it. Um, you know, and I love the what Ruby just mentioned. Like, I think we're pushed to get married depending on the culture. Like, um, I know that in the Indian culture, education is very esteemed, right,
Yeah.
Farrah? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, people that come from India are highly educated
Yeah.
doctors and physicians, right? So, um, I don't know. I only could speak on like my in-laws, Jordanian, like they were big on my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, like you need to become a doctor. You need to go to school. Like that was a big thing in their culture, but I think maybe in Latino culture, we're kind of like, go get married, like get out of the house. You're less mouth to feed. At least that's what I think. Not all cultures, of course, not all families, but I think collectively it's kind of like, oh, this is the next step. Get married at 18 and 20, and we're not even mentally developed correctly yet. We're not even mature enough for ourselves. Why would we think that we need to be in a marriage at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? Like
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
No.
I tell my mother, I tell my daughter all the time, like, you better milk me till there's no more milking. Like, you better stay in the house till you're like 30. Like, don't leave. Like, but again, I know that she's gonna make her own decisions, and our kids are gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. But I'm like, please take advantage of me. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I think it's like a balance, right? Because then people want families and kids too, and then biologically, there's a certain age that we have to have kids by. So, like, how do you balance all of that? Where you're emotionally mature, but yet biologically, your time is escaping. So it's like that. I don't even know the answer to that, honestly.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, biologically, right? Your clock is ticking.
Yeah.
I mean, they say like try not to have kids by 35. Like once
Right.
you go over 35, it's like your eggs are older. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I can only imagine like older women, let's say like baby boomers, they were kind of encouraged to get married at 18, right?
Right.
Like, I had a good friend that just passed away. Her birthday was yesterday. She died at 76. But she got married at 18, you know? Can you imagine? Like, and culturally, I mean, my parents also the same thing. I don't know about you guys, but they got married so young. Like, how do you know? You don't even know yourself yet.
Right.
Yeah, really.
you know? Uh, so we see Mary said, give me a sec. I'm trying to show this comment here. Back in the day, that is all people lived up to. Exactly. That is all people thought of. Like, marriage was the biggest highlight. And the mentality never changed. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we just got to be more aware of like, this is what women go through. Not all relationships are going to be successful. People are not perfect, and marriage in general is hard as heck, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, yeah. My daughter is a sophomore in college, and I told her since she was like 11 or 12 years old, like, do not have a boyfriend. Like, as soon as you have a serious boyfriend, and as soon as I said your heart, your mind, and they all work together. Like you lose it. Like
what was that?
so like so I always told her, and I always told her that, you know, she needed to focus on herself. And like, she got one boyfriend that broke her heart, and now she is just not, she doesn't want to have a serious relationship at all anymore, which is, it's good for me, because now she's more school driven, more self-focused, you know. And she's like, I don't want to, she says she's away dorming at school, and she wants to get her own apartment, and all I want is for her to live her best life, you know. And I don't want her to have ties so young, you know. So I'd rather her be just living, you know, living the single life and having fun, enjoying herself, and not feeling to have that responsibility. Like, I think back in the day, people got married so young because it was harder. Like, everybody had to work. So like you said, like, get out so there's not another mouth to feed. So that's why people left. They like, okay, well, I'm going to go with my, you know, get married and now, you know, start my own family. And it was just more acceptable. But I think nowadays it's so different.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then more women are getting an education, or more women are. It's not like we're depending, right? We're educating ourselves to make good income. So yeah, I think that's a good point. I have to share this comment. She put, "I prefer my eggs over easy than fertilized at this point in my life." So funny. Yeah, Melissa, I got married at 25 and I still think I should have waited longer. I have always said that God forbid something happened in my marriage or my hubby passes, I would never marry again. But of course, that's my opinion. Yeah, I wouldn't. I agree. I don't think I'd marry again if personally, like, that's a lot of work. Like, it's a, you know, marriage is a lot of work. So, not that I'm like, no, I don't love my marriage. I love my marriage, right? But at the same time, it's like, if this doesn't work out, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
But you know, again, that's everyone's opinion. I don't know what you ladies think. Feel free to share in the comments. Don't be shy. We don't bite. But this is a fun conversation, or it's an interactive conversation. Um, Mary said, my dad was not about me getting early. He told me if I felt the Nañaras to run. Nana. Okay, help me out here, Angel.
I don't know what that is.
Okay,
Nan-
I'm
I think
sorry.
that's like heebie-jeebies.
EBGBs. Okay, gotcha. Exactly, Jen. LOL. So you know, share with us. So I think now let's go into the conversation of the real estate investing, because Farrah, your story. You were raised in Chicago. You got divorced, and this is the part that's like the juicy part, because you made what led you into investing, right? Divorce is a really serious part of, not it's a what's it called, people, it's like a crisis mode. Let's just be real, right?
Yeah.
Divorce is detrimental. Your world flips upside down. You're so used to having this life with one person, all of a sudden everything changes. So how did you manage that, and how did it led you into investing?
Yeah, so basically when I left, I separated and I left with nothing. So I kind of went into, you know, I rented a home. We had two kids, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to take care of these two kids pretty much on my own. I had to figure that out. So I was like, well, you know, I was working at the time, I had a full-time job, but that was good enough for just the day-to-day expenses, right? And I knew more expenses were going to come up as the kids got. I had to think about their colleges. I wasn't getting child support at the time. I knew I wasn't going to get it for at least 2 years because I had a choice of keeping the kids in the private school that they were already at or getting child support. So I decided that with the kids, like the divorce and going to a brand new school would be too much on them. So I'm like, okay, let me keep them in the school and forego the child support. So then I'm like, okay, how do I make more money? And I read a couple books and I researched online, and everything kind of pointed towards real estate investing. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know anything about this. Let me look into it. And as I was researching, actually ended up at a seminar. I think I have. Can you guys hear me?
You were good. With last thing we heard was seminar.
Okay, so yeah, a seminar, and that one I wasn't really impressed with, but I ended up at another seminar. It was a 3-day, and I really liked what I heard. And the nice part about it was that I didn't have to have money to start investing, which was huge for me, because I always was in the mindset that you need to put 20% down when you purchase a house, or you need to have a significant amount of money, which is not the case, because when I joined this program, I mean the program itself costs money, but after that, when you buy your property, you don't need any money because you can get it 100% financed. So from there, I bought my first property in that class, and then from there I just started accumulating. And 5 years, 6 years forward, I have 20 some properties, 26, now I have 28 properties. And what that does for me is that I refinance them. So let me just kind of go through the formula a little bit so that you understands. I purchase it with other people's money, so I don't use any of my own money. The price of the house and the cost to rehab the house is 100% financed using somebody else's money. Then I use that rehab money to fix it up, and then it appraises for a lot more. I refinance it. When I refinance it with a long-term bank, it pays off the lender that I originally borrowed from. So I don't have any money spent whatsoever. And I just repeat that process over and over and over again. But each house brings me, like, after all mortgages, everything is paid, my net per house that I own is $500 net cash flow a month. So think $500 every month coming in per house. So if you multiply that by 28, 29, it's like $14,000 to $15,000 coming in every single month. And that's like just while I'm not, it's passive, right? I'm not putting any time in. I put some time into it originally to help, like, with the rehab and stuff, but once it's rented out, I'm not putting any more time into it. Here and there, I might get a few property management calls, but that's easily handled over text messages now. So, so when I realized the power of that, that's what I was like, wow, like, tomorrow if I even lose my job, it won't matter. And that's kind of what happened. And I realized that, you don't have to have money. It doesn't matter what circumstances you're in, whether you're, divorced, or if you're single. It doesn't matter if you're married, whatever the case is, at real estate, it actually works for everyone. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Wow.
That's why we win. Yeah. We created We Win because there was a platform to encourage and inspire other women to get into real estate investing, because I don't think a lot of women out there know that it's possible for them.
Wow. I love this. I love that you're bringing this story. I think it's very inspiring, very encouraging. And I know that I think we were introduced to through Nancy Nancy Villacorta, who I love dearly. She's she was around Wise when we first started, and now she's like doing all this real estate stuff, and I can never get a hold of her now because she's a big timer now, big shot. If you're watching, you're a big shot now, Nancy. No, I'm just joking. I love her. She's so much fun too. So that's how I got introduced to you and Gina and the We Win ladies, and I definitely think that anyone that's watching wants to learn more, connect with Farrah, check out We Win, and definitely I think real estate investing, I keep hearing that's the fastest way to building wealth, right? Generational wealth is, we don't want to, we want to build, we want to grow, and maybe, like you said, you're divorced or you're married, it doesn't matter, you can get into investing and make money.
Right.
And I love that.
It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah, that's basically what I do. I mean, I am a property manager for a couple of guys that own a bunch of properties. So like, and that is their retirement. Like, they have investments and other businesses and everything, but they've always said that their real estate is their retirement, and that's what brings them the most income for everything. I mean, I only deal with commercial. I've not really a fan of residential property management, but I do realize that it's good either way.
So, Farrah, you and your team need to get Angel on board with real estate investing so she starts managing their properties and manages her own property.
Yes, absolutely.
Just,
Yeah, sure.
you already got the skill set, right? So, I know one of your partners, Lori. She's sharing the website because I see a lot of people are interested in learning more about We Win. You might see once in a while I share stuff from We Win in our community as well. It's wewinchicago.org. Go check them out. I love the women. These ladies are awesome. They're very, it's a very inspiring story. That's why I was like, oh, you're watching your story, Fairy, really just kind of was the one that kind of like made me look into real estate investing more, to be honest with you. And Gina's awesome and Nancy's awesome. So definitely check these ladies out because I think it's too much fun. So tell us a little bit about your book, Farrah. I know you got
Sure.
the book out.
Yeah, so my book here, I actually have it called Diaries of a Female Real Estate Investor. And so I decided to write this book soon after we got shut down with COVID. I'm like, okay, well, I get to work from home. So I'm like, what do I do with my extra time? And a lot of people ask me, like, how did you get into as a single mom? How did you do it with no money? How did you do it working full time? Where do you find the time? You know, I get a bunch of these questions all the time, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna take all of this and put it into a book, and that way, when somebody asks me, I'm like, here, read this book. But it's just my journey, but it also
Take my book.
Well, everybody gets like a little piece of the puzzle because I can't explain everything, so I'm like, here, I'll just put it all into a book. But it's my journey, how I started, my exact path to how I got into investing, so that if somebody wanted to duplicate it, they could. I also put in there also a little of my story, but also case studies of my properties, because I do want people to understand the formula that we use. So I actually have live houses that I've done. I didn't put the exact address, but I did put the city in there and have a picture of the house in there. And then I go through my numbers of what I purchased it at, what the rehab was, how much it appraised for, and then when I refinanced it, what my cash flow was every month. And then I kind of just do, 5 of those so that people can kind of understand the process. And then, kind of go into like things that happened to me later in life, and how kind of real estate was a godsend to me because it kind of saved me from a lot of some of the things that I had to go through later. But I think it's a great book for people who, don't have much experience or want to get into real estate investing. Actually, the people who read this book that have like 20 plus properties and they just thought it was motivational and inspirational. So it's a good book for anybody.
Nice. Yeah. And I saw that you have a ton of support. When you put your book out, I saw all the love and support that you got from the book. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. And so how do we find this book? I'm pretty sure the ladies that are watching now or watching the replay are going to be dying to know where to get it. So where can they get this book?
The book is actually on Amazon.
Okay.
So you just need to, in the search field, put in Diaries of a Female Real Estate Investor. You can purchase it via Amazon paperback or via Kindle. So either one of those. I don't have it in stores yet because I just rolled out the phase initially for family and friends, and then I'm going to start marketing it probably next week at some point. But you're welcome to purchase it on Amazon.
Nice. And we'll definitely share the link, or maybe if Lori Palmer can help us out here and put the link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it, just so that women can go straight to it and make it easier. Yeah. I would appreciate that. But yeah, I see some comments here. Let me share some comments real quick. So yeah, Melissa, that is so interesting. Where can I go for more information on how to start? That is great. And the book is definitely going to be a great resource for that. I have seen that program. I was too nervous to look into it. Mary said. Ruby said, very inspiring story. You found a way to take this trial and turn it into something good. Bravo. I agree. How long did it take for you to start seeing that passive income? A year after or right away? I'm sure it's in the book, Yamala. You're going to have to buy it. I'm just joking. I don't know if you want to answer that.
I can answer that. Yeah, I can answer that. That's not a problem. So when I joined the program, when I started learning real estate, I actually got a property within the first month. It took me about a few months to rehab it and refinance it. So it was like a 4-month process when I saw my first $500 come through, and then since then till today, I still have that $500 coming through every month. And then from there, it's just basically, how quickly you go, how aggressive you are, how much work you're willing to put into it. You can accumulate a portfolio of 5 to 10 properties in a matter of a couple of years, or it could take you 5 years. Just depends on how much time you're putting into it. But there's no reason why you can't accumulate 5 properties in a matter of 2 years.
Nice. I think this is very inspirational. I want the ladies to purchase the book. Yamila said, I know I'm definitely buying the book. So you guys support here from the community here watching. So here's my question for you, and I think this is going to be a really, really critical one. How impactful or critical was it to be coached? Because I know that you guys I know you guys are big on programs and mentorship. So give me a little idea. Like, I think that's something that we need to talk about more. Is you need mentors in this field. You need, guidance, right?
Right. I think that I don't think you should do anything without a mentor if you have no experience, period. And I'll tell you why. Because when you have somebody supporting you, they have your back. Let's just say you find a deal, right? And you have somebody checking to make sure that deal makes sense. That confidence is huge, right? Like, that's what makes you, the difference between you taking action and not taking action is that when somebody has your back. We have a huge network of investors. We're helping each other. We're answering each other's questions. We're encouraging and motivating each other. And the one thing I'll tell you is, out of the 50 plus transactions that I've done, because I've done some flips and wholesales as well, which in my book, you'll know what wholesales is if you don't know what that is. But I have not lost $1 in any of those transactions. And you hear most people who do real estate investing, they lose money in their first couple of deals because they don't know what they're doing. And I could not afford to lose a dime, honestly, because I didn't have any money to start with at all. So the fact that I did 50 plus transactions and making money on every single one of those, that's huge to me. And that's why I think it's really, really important to have a coach or a mentor.
Thank you for sharing, because, our community is big on coaching. Our community is big on mentorship. Our community is big on, supporting one another, creating supportive, which I know you know this already, Farrah, how our community operates. But I wanted to emphasize that in all areas of life, you need some type of coach, right? And it's like life coaching, real estate coaching, business coaching. You said yourself, you've invested in professional development, personal development when you recently divorced, right?
Right.
Would have you taken the same action if you didn't invest in yourself, right? Financially?
Yeah, I mean, I think, why not learn from people who have gone through it or done it themselves, whether it's a coach for mindset, right? You need to have the right mindset. You need to have somebody to motivate and inspire you. I think that's the base of everything, is before even, getting into anything, is, hey, am I the right people around? That is your number one thing, is to get those right people around you, have that support system, and then move forward.
Boom. That's the answer. Angel, do you have anything to share about this?
No, it's just it's very inspiring. I mean, I know that's something, like, I tried to get my broker's license, and I've always been not so great at school, and I didn't do well on my exams, and I gave up. I didn't even try all 4 times, and I gave up. And it's just, I always let fear get the best of me. But I also did feel like I was kind of doing it alone. So being able to be around a group of women who can support you and, encourage you and mentor you is really great. That's awesome.
Do you need your
Yeah.
broker's license, Farrah, to do this?
No, not at all. You don't need your license, no.
There you
But the
go.
one thing I want to highlight was that, it's, of course, the money is great, right? You have all this cash flow coming in, it's great. But what does that actually do? It gives you time to do all the things that you want to do.
Bingo. I love that. I love that. So we have right here the link. That's a really long link. I'm going to share, but I don't know if everyone's going to be able to watch that. So I won't share that. Let me share the name, right? The Diaries of a Female Real Estate Investor. Lori, she shared it right now. So go Google that. Ruby asked, is We Win national or only Chicago based?
So our meetings right now are virtual and Chicago. So we're going to start doing live meetings in Chicago, but it'll also be virtual. So it's not just Chicago based. But a lot of us here are physically here in Chicago, but we offer support virtual and in person.
Beautiful. And then, of course, Lori also answered, while we are based in Chicago, COVID allows us to offer a virtual option for our meetings. So our meetings are made available on national platform, which is great, which is awesome. Kudos to you, ladies, the We Win women. I love it. And anyone that's part of our community or any women that wants to learn more, reach out to Farrah or Lori or any of the other ladies part of this community if you want to learn more. I agree. We should all have investment properties. We should all be making money. We should all, we want to live a life of wealth and abundance. So I thought this was going to be a great conversation for a lot of the women watching. So I appreciate you so much, Farrah, for coming on. I know you're really busy. So this was great.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you. No, thank you. I know. We're too much fun, Farrah. Angel, do you have any final words you want to share?
I just want to say thank you for being here today, and I am definitely going to be buying your book and looking into the We Win organization. I'm really excited about that. And just thank you for having me today.
Oh yeah, you were our whole co-host for the month, so we had too much fun with you. That we love having you and bringing your opinions. That's one of the things that I love to highlight is women that have taken the coaching program that I offer. That's more relative to life and just getting things started, right? Business, and I definitely want to highlight that. That's what I do. That's why I thought, and one of the biggest things that I do in my coaching program is that I encourage women to get into whatever they want to get into. Like, you want to do real estate? Show me your action steps. How are you going to get there? Let's do, I'm not a real estate expert. I don't say that, but I say go find people that do know this stuff and go ask them. Right. So make that happen, because like you said, Farrah, you need someone to kind of push you and encourage you and motivate you and draw out those good things from you. So our coaching program is launching next week. I'm trying to think what day. The week of April 4th, we'll be launching our coaching program. So definitely, if anyone's interested, we have a 12-week coaching program coming up. So reach out to me. It's all about just helping you get super laser focused on getting your goals accomplished. And there's so much more information on our website that we'll be sharing. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can go to womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com. Remember, we have a website, womenselfdevelopment.org, and then you can join our free Facebook community, Wise Women Support Group. And then there, I always share different things. I'll share stuff from our partners like We Win. So I'm super excited about this conversation. And I hope, Farrah, you get a lot of book sales and a lot of women coming to the We Win community from the Wise community.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, ladies, everyone watching. We hope that this inspired you for the week and that we're going to start looking into real estate investing more. Thank you, Farrah.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, ladies. Have a
Bye.
great week.
Have a great week.